Good evening, parents. My name is Nipun. I'm just going to kick off the orientation. Dr. Apoor, who is also visible on the screen, is going to be running the rest of the orientation. Just to give you an introduction, we are here for the Sales and Waves Mysore program, which is running in December. First, to give you a brief background about Inme before we begin. Inme started doing adventure programs for children in 1996. We started under a brand name called Discovery Camps at that point of time, which became iDiscovery and then became Eureka. There was a small split in the partners, and in 2008, Inme was started. 2019, Inme Eureka merged to be one company again. And how we now do it is that Inme runs what we call the retail programs, where any child from the age group of 9 to 17 can join our programs, either in the winters or the summers, depending on what age group they're from. Eureka runs programs for schools, so we work directly with schools where only a specific schools comes on our programs on specific dates. So that's how Eureka and Inme run. First, to just give you a brief background about sailing, this is the first time we are doing this program. We are very excited about it. Dr. Apoor himself has done the recce, and he'll be giving you all the information. So it's going to be run in me style, and we are going over and above what we would have done on a normal program because it's the first time. There'll be a lot of photographs, a lot of videos also, which you guys will be excited to see post the program. And I'm just going to hand it over to Dr. Apoor now.
All right. Good afternoon, parents. I'm Dr. Apoor. As Nipun has already told you, this is a very exciting first for us. It was actually way back in 2014 that I had gone for a sailing training for myself because we wanted to launch a sailing program. And I have been doing Inme programs, leading them since 2012. And I've been doing programs, expeditions. Rishikesh programs were very close to my heart because they were good, fun, challenging programs, rafting and kayaking out there. But we also do scuba diving, which is a great, challenging program. In 2014, when I did sailing, my eyes were opened. I thought this is the best water sport out there. Lots of technical stuff, but lots of learning, lots of adventure, and there's a lot of thrill in this. So I will be taking you through what we are doing. Finally, it is kicking off. I had gone to the Mysore Sailing Club myself and done the recce, as Nipun has already told you. And this looks like a very exciting program for the kids. In all likelihood, I am likely to be the campus chief for this program. I've had a bit of a back injury 2 weeks ago, from which I am recovering. So I'm not making any commitments right now, but yes, in all likelihood, I'm going to be leading this program. I will be there on the ground in Mysore. So I will just share my screen with you all, and we will just go through the sailing program itinerary and what you need to be aware of. So this will happen at the Royal Mysore Sailing Club, which is about 150 kilometers away from Bangalore. It's on the banks of the Kaveri River as it meets at the KRS Dam. There is a huge 25 by 5 kilometer stretch of the Kaveri River, which is like a reservoir, where we have the sailing point, which is called RMSC Point B. The campsite is going to be RMSC Point A. So before we get to our point A, how do we get there? We'll be starting from Bangalore in the morning, not 7 a.m. It's going to be around 10 a.m. so that we take a break at Indradhanush en route and reach campsite for lunch. After lunch, there's going to be a bit of introduction, norm setting, tent allocation. These tents are big tents, so all the boys are likely to be in one tent, and there'll be one big tent for the girls. Huge tents, there'll be no space crunch, they'll be comfortable. If need be, we will have additional tents, so we are prepared for all eventualities. The on-ground people are very helpful, and I've had several conversations and meetings with them. They're all on board. They've already run a few programs of their own. So this looks like logistically we are okay. It's a nice looking campsite. There are CCTVs on this one. There's a good safety measures in terms of fencing. So We are not worried about safety. Also, obviously, our people will be there on campus to make sure that everybody is safe. That very evening, after the evening tea and snacks, we planned to go because it's Christmas. So we thought, let's just do the Vrindavan Gardens, which is about 20 minutes away from camp. Uh, there we'll be doing the musical fountain that happens in the evening. So that's like a sound and music show. Uh, the gardens are beautiful. They also get to visit the Kyaris Dam. After that visit, we come back for dinner to camp, sleep the night a little early. Next morning, so this is something which will be a little dependent on the wind conditions. Typically, they'll get up in the morning, do their breakfast, morning warm up exercises and all. And after that, we will be going for the first sailing session. Now, the sailing session happens about a kilometer away, which is RMSC Point B. We do have vehicles to ply up and down, and if the weather permits, and if we think it's a good idea to just trek, and if the energy of the campus is for a trek, we may trek up there. Out there, we'll start with theory sessions. So this routine will happen for the next 4 days, right? On day one, day two, and day three, and day four, they'll be learning theory. They'll be doing some practicals, and they will also be doing some kayaking in the flat waters out there. Uh, every day they'll be learning some new thing about the sailboat, about safety procedures. Obviously, all safety equipment is there. They have great free flotation devices, which is basically life jackets, helmets. They have rescue boats, which are power boats. They have staff which is trained, certified. Our people are also going to be there, just making sure everything is running smoothly and everything is running safely, and we'll be there at every turn of the program. Um, they return for lunch. After lunch, on various days, we have various things which are very Inme-esque. So there'll be rifle shooting and archery. There'll be some initiative games. We'll be visiting the local village nearby to have a bit of a sense of what's happening out there, what's the socioeconomic environment in the village, what are the people doing there for their livelihood. Um, one thing that is not mentioned here because we were still debating, I was still debating, I have built this program design, was a visit to the Mysore Palace, which I think is something we should do. And that will happen on day four. If you see here, on day four in the evening, we will most likely go for the Mysore Palace visit. Otherwise, in the evening, we'll be doing evening games. They'll learn something about themselves. They'll learn something about teamwork. And obviously, inherently in an INME program, they're learning independence. They're learning how to take care of themselves, how to live with others, community building, uh, stuff like that. And on the penultimate evening, there is something called as Helter Skelter, which is the Camp Olympics, where they're divided into teams and they do some collaborative team games and finish that night with a talent night, talent show that is organized by the children themselves. And hopefully, we'll do some stargazing also. On the final morning, we are planning for a sailing competition. It's going to be a friendly thing. That is again going to be dependent on the wind conditions. So the program may change in terms of if sailing is going to happen in the morning or in the afternoon session, depending on the wind conditions. Uh, we will keep you updated through the WhatsApp channels about what's happening exactly that day. And yeah, we have enough safety measures out there. On the final day, that is the 30th of December, we will be leaving the camp after lunch, and we aim to reach Bangalore on the evening of. But yeah, we may reach a little earlier because there's a kid who has to board a flight earlier. So we will confirm the exact time of arrival to you closer to the dates of the program. Um, Other than that, the weather is likely to be very pleasant in that period. We will be keeping a close tab during our planning phases. Uh, for the sailing, they typically need one instructor, one sailing instructor for 15 students. but they have additional trained staff who is going to be present, and obviously all of us. There will be INME instructors and a campus chief from INME who will be present. Uh, Medically, there will be an emergency vehicle at all times present on the campus. There is a doctor nearby, which is about 5-8 minutes away from the campus, and a multi-specialty hospital, Manipal, is about 40 minutes away. Food is going to be very Inme-esque. There's going to be breakfast, lunch, evening snack, and dinner. A wide variety of nourishing food, largely vegetarian. We will have some non-veg food in the dinner, and eggs for breakfast every day. For this program, swimming is not a necessary requirement. So it's not important to be a world class swimmer to learn sailing. In fact, the guy that I had done the sailing training with did not know swimming, and he was kind of scared of water, but he also got certified because it's not that difficult. What will they learn? They'll learn obviously about the sailboat, they will learn about maneuvering, they'll learn about wind. So, not just they will learn some geography, they'll learn some physics, they learn how to maneuver a boat, which is called tacking and jibing. They learn about rescue procedures, what happens when there's a man overboard. Uh, they'll be also taught what is the equivalent of a flip drill in a rafting program. So here it's a capsize drill. So when a sailboat capsizes, how do you bring it back up? Uh, so some of you might be new to an INME program. This is an important one for just understanding uh, what a camp program is supposed to be like. So let's just know that it's not a family holiday to a resort. Uh, it's not a luxury camp. It's a camp. It's a learning camp where you're learning a technical skill and you're learning some life skills. So the facilities are going to be Spartan, but everything is going to be safe. The idea is not to make you uncomfortable, but yes, to definitely take you outside your comfort zone. So, as I said, they'll be in tents, but there will be built up toilets in both point A and point B. So, there'll be hot water available, there'll be cleaned toilets. There are sufficient toilets, and the cleanliness is pretty good. It's a recently built up facility, so all the items are reasonably new. This one is very important. Please make sure you do not send any gadgets, especially mobile phones, with the kids. This is a great dopamine detox. We all know what is happening with the phones and how it is affecting the kids these days. So for those 6 days, they will be away from their phones. And trust me, by the end of the sixth day, they'll be like, wow, we did this and we can do this. So just make sure you don't send any gadgets with the children. And if you do send a gadget, which could be a camera, uh, make sure it doesn't have any connectivity possibility, and don't send expensive stuff. By expensive, what I mean, obviously it's a subjective thing. What is expensive for one might not be expensive for another, but what it generally means is stuff that if the child loses or breaks on the program should not bother you too much, right? So you must have received the kit. We will come to the kit list a little bit later. The communication protocol is this. By and large, on any INME program, your child is there. The child, if at all, will be homesick for the first couple of days. Usually does not happen. But if it does happen, we are trained, we are capable of handling that, and we are able to take that journey with the child. By the end of the program, they're usually already camp sick and they don't want to return home. What we can't manage is the parent who's child sick. So if you are a little too worried, oh, my child's gone there in the Kaveri River. I remember taking a phone call in the Bangalore office once where a parent was so worried that the child has just jumped off a cliff. Uh, so let's assume the best and understand that no news is good news, which means everything is running smoothly, all children are well. If there is anything that happens which is out of the ordinary, for example, there may be some injury. For bruises and scrapes, for minor sprains, we will not be bothering you because they take care of themselves, and those are ops normal for camps. But yes, if God forbid something more than that happens. For example, somebody's got a major sprain, somebody's got a minor fracture, uh, somebody's got a fever which has caused them to not go for the activities. Then we will ensure that we inform you from the campus and we get you to speak to the child, so that you know that your child is well taken care of, and we may decide further course of action together. There is absolutely zero tolerance for bullying and indiscipline. It has happened in the past that children, after repeated counseling, after repeated coaching about not bullying others, have been sent back. So this is something which would be a good idea to also front load them before you send them on the camp. Obviously, they're little children, so some of them might want to experiment. Make sure your liquor cabinets are locked and they don't have access to anything that they might want to bring to camp. There is zero tolerance for any substance use. Uh, as I said, the menu is a nutritious, well balanced menu through the day. So you don't need to send any food for the camp duration. If you want to send some stuff for the journey, yes, you may. Uh, as a doctor, I recommend do not send packaged, processed, ultra processed food. It's just unhealthy. We all know it's causing a lot of trouble in India in general, and also in kids in a big way. So please avoid sending a lot of processed, ultra processed food. If you do have to send them, make sure that they are able to give it to us on the first day of camp. We'll return it to them. We won't party with it. We'll return it to them for the journey back. As I said, no expensive items. You may send some money, not more than 3,000 rupees, because kids on the camp, excited, just have a tendency to misplace stuff. So you may send up to 3,000, nothing more than that. In case there is a requirement for any purpose, we are going to be there. Our people are going to be there. We can take care of any urgent money requirement. So you don't have to worry about that. And we'll connect with you about the same. Right. I think that's the broad overview. I'm very excited and hopeful that I will be able to come along for this program. I think I can open the floor for questions. Oh, I think Nipun wants to add stuff.
Great, great,
This
great.
is
I
he's the pro.
sorry. Okay. I'm just going to share my screen. We're just going to go through the list of things to carry first, and then we can take the question answers. Okay. I think Dr. Apoor has hopefully cleared most of your questions already. I'm just going to take you through the list of things to carry and the communication protocol again, so that everybody is aware of it. Okay. First of all, basic clothings. 5 t-shirts, half sleeves, quick dry. 3 t-shirts in dark colors. Even the quick dye t-shirts, we would prefer if they're not very light colors. They're dark colors because when they get wet, they do tend to become a little transparent. So do try to avoid very light colors over there also. 4 pair of shorts, quick dry. 2 track pants, normal. 5 pair of socks, 1 towel quick dry, 1 cap sunshade, very important. It's going to be sharp sun. They will need to be carrying their cap everywhere. Undergarments sufficient. Now, parents, you know your children. You know the duration of the program. If your child changes their undergarments twice a day, make sure you're sending double the amount of the duration. Otherwise, that much. Mothers, please expect most of the clothes to come back unused. Okay, that happens quite a lot, so don't worry about that. In terms of water resistant and warm items, one waterproof jacket or a raincoat. There is a this area does get rains on and off, and they can be getting some showers at that time. One warm fleece jacket in the evenings if it gets a little chilly, just to layer up. In terms of footwear, 1 pair of hiking sandals. These are also what we used to call floaters. Uh, do make sure they are sending this, because in your sailing and all the water activities, this is what is going to be required. No clogs, which are the Crocs. So a lot of parents ask why not? They are meant to be for this, but actually they're not. See, the Crocs have holes. They're covered on the toe and they have holes, right? A lot of things go inside, pebbles, dust, everything goes inside, and then the child is jumping up and down trying to take that off. In hiking sandals, because it's open all around, they have to just shake the foot and the pebbles and everything goes out. No flip-flops or your normal slippers. They're called slippers for a reason, so that you can slip into them and slip out of them easily. They do slip, so no slippers, please. Or leather sandals, they start stinking. One pair of normal rubber-soled sports shoes. You do not need to send any specialized shoe for this. Normal sports shoe which the child has been wearing is just send that. This will be used in the evening when they're going to, say, the palace or something. They'll be using these shoes. For the water activity, it's going to be hiking sandals all the time. Just let me scroll down. Sorry. Okay. Before I come to packing, personal toiletries, other than your regular toiletries, which is toothbrush, toothpaste, shower gel, etc., you should include a hand sanitizer, a strong sunscreen, something which is above SPF 30, a lip balm, cold cream, and a mosquito repellent, not a plug-in, a cream or a spray or a roll-on mosquito repellent. One pair of sunglasses which should cover the eyes completely. The reason why we mention this is we have seen children carrying aviators, we've seen children carrying what is called the Morpheus glasses, which are like this thin and they do not cover the eyes. That's not going to help them at all. So they should be able to cover their eyes properly. So proper sunglasses, please. A torch or a headlamp. This will be required in the night if the electricity goes. There will be times, the generator to kick in, the electricity backup to come back might take time. If the children need to go to the loo, they will need a torch or a headlamp. Also, because they're going to be sharing tents, right? It's not, good manners to be switching on the light and disturbing the others. So if they have the torch, they can keep it next to their pillows and they can just use that. Medicines, only if the child is under any specific medicines, please send any medicines. Otherwise, you do not need to send any kind of medicines. We are carrying all the medicines, required medicines which are needed, antibiotics, stomachache, fever, everything we are carrying, so they don't need to carry anything. We'll be carrying that. If they are under any specific medicines, please do let us know if you're not filled in the form. We will be making sure that they're having that on their time, and also that if something happens, if they get a fever or something, and we're going to give them a medicine, there is no side effect, of two medicines mixing to each other. If you're wearing spectacles, make sure you're carrying an extra pair of spectacles, just in case there's any breakage. It's not very easy to get repaired over there. Contact lenses are not recommended for these kind of programs. Your eyes can dry out. Finding the lens if they've fallen is very difficult. Please try to make sure that's only spectacles. A water bottle, at least a 750 ml capacity water bottle. Avoid thermoses with glass inners. A normal Milton steel bottle or a Borosil bottle is just fine. Please make sure that they're carrying this. We've been trying to reduce our plastic waste as much as possible. Before we used to give packaged drinking water on the buses. We are trying to do away from that. We are trying to get water containers which we can refill water bottles over there. So please make sure you're not sending. Please make sure you're sending a water bottle with them. In terms of packing, try to pack everything in a duffel bag or a rucksack. No suitcases. Suitcases are the most inconvenient things to keep in a tent and also to carry. The children will be carrying their own rucksack and during transfers and during when they're walking from the entry of the campsite to the tents. All that, if they start dragging the suitcases, the wheels break, the handles break, and they become very difficult. A rucksack or a duffel bag, which can be easily carried on the shoulder, is the thing which they need to carry. Try to limit it to one piece of luggage. So around a 50 to 60-liter rucksack is perfect for this. Roll up all the clothes and put them. Do not fold them and keep them because they take up too much space. So if you roll them, they fit easily in any kind of rucksack. Do carry an extra small day pack or a knapsack with you. This will be for the bus journey also because you'll be able to keep it on the top and the rest of your luggage will go in the boot. When you're going for the day activities, when you want to keep your sunscreen, your water bottle and everything, which can go in this, right? So make sure there's a small day pack also you carry. Dr. Kapoor already spoke about the money. 3,000 rupees is what we recommend that they can carry for any merchandise they want to buy. Any other expenses which might arise, say medical or anything, will be taken care by us. The children or you don't need to worry about that. That is all taken care by us. If there's any like entry to the Mysore Palace or anything, we'll be taking care of that. The children do not need to pay. If they want to buy any memorabilia or any souvenirs, that's what the 3,000 rupees is for. If your child is flying into Bangalore for this program, do send a little bit of extra money for the airport so that they can have any meals on the airport if they need. And also, do make sure you're booking meals on their flight if they're on Indigo or anything, so that they have something to eat on the flight itself also. If your child is flying in, make sure you're sending a pouch with them with their name written on it, which has their power bank, Aadhaar card, and the return ticket, so that once they arrive in Bangalore, once they've spoken to you and we have taken a charge of them, they will put their phone in that and the rest of the stuff and hand us that pouch. That pouch will stay with us and be returned to them on the day of their return. No jewelry, expensive clothes, or gadgets. Nothing is required. We'll be taking care of everything. Mobile phones are not allowed on the program at all unless you're flying in. So that's why at the Bangalore airport, we're going to take that away. Do not Jewelry is not required. Please don't send any jewelry. I've seen children coming with expensive jewelry and then they're more worried about the jewelry than anything else. Please do not send that. No gadgets. If you cannot sleep without reading at night, carry a normal book. Do not carry Kindles. I would still recommend do not carry books. Talk to your tent mates. Bond with them, and maybe discuss a book with them which you read. Right, it's a good experience. Like doctor said, you can carry a camera, but it's your responsibility. Do not send anything expensive. Send something if it breaks or it gets lost. You're still fine. The memorabilia which they can buy on the camp is also available on our merch store, which is the inme.com. You can always link to that. This kit list would have been shared to you in the WhatsApp, which was sent to you earlier for this orientation. You can use that. Now, in terms of communication, there's a WhatsApp channel which has been created, which we'll be sharing the link with you right now also and post. Then before the program also we'll share it once. All the details will be coming on this WhatsApp channel when they're on the travel, when they reach the camp. After that, there'll be two updates daily. Once in the morning at 11 a.m., once in the evening at 6 p.m. These are text updates telling you what's happening on the program, how the children are doing, what's the weather like, and if there's something interesting. Say they had burgers in the evening for snacks, right? We'll tell you, oh, they had amazing burgers, or if you have a surprise for them, say pasta or something for them, we'll be telling you that so that you can also understand how the children are enjoying it and what's happening in the program. We do share photographs, about 15 to 20 every day. These are mainly group photographs, not individual. We try to, all the individual photographs and everything we have taken is shared up later. 15 to 20 is what we try to put every day, but it is also dependent on internet connectivity. Sometimes in these areas, the internet connectivity goes off, and then we are not able to share photographs. No news is always good news. If there is any emergency, like doctor said, which is above a headache, above a scratch, bruise, mild sprains, mild fever, we will be calling you. If they need any antibiotics, if they need to be given any injection or taken for an X-ray, we'll be calling you and informing you what's happening. You'll be able to talk to your child, and we'll also take the action in discussion with you, whatever is required. Now, one major thing, this is an outdoor program. If your child is coming back without any scratches or bruises, call us. They have not done anything, right? Expect them to have some scratches, bruises. If they're not anything, that's it's a problem for us. Okay, we are open to question answers. Uh, you can please raise your hands and we'll take them.
So I will just address the first question: how many kids in one tent? These are large tents, not the typical Inme tents that we have, where we accommodate about 4 to 7 kids in a tent. These are really large, almost dormitory sized tents, and there are these metal beds on the in the tents. I saw the layout, and this can easily actually accommodate about 12 to 14 adults without a problem. But we are aiming to put not more than 10 kids to a tent. We will see as the condition is how many more people might register between now and the program, but it's going to be very comfortable. So don't worry about the tent.
Okay, doctor,
Yeah.
get mute. Ms. Manjari, we'll be sharing a number and the Aadhaar card of the person who will be receiving them at the Bangalore airport about 48 hours before. Uh, which flight is she on? Can you unmute and let me know?
Indigo.
Indigo. Yeah. So you'll have to fill out the form once you reach. You can take out these four forms, which is the unaccompanied minor form. Just fill those and just keep them with you. We'll send that 48 hours before to you, and you will just submit it when you reach there. And the person's mobile number will also be shared, so we'll take them. So over here, sleeping bag won't be required. The bedding will already be there, so you do not need to carry a sleeping bag. Yeah, it's a metal frame bed, Karthik, with bedding on top. Nandini?
Last time when I went to the Coorg camp, there was metal beds, but we still had to carry our sleeping bags for like something like a overall like bed sheet.
You do not need that here.
Okay, thank you.
Nandini, if you want to, you can, though. We are not preventing you. If you think that's going to be like the camp experience, feel free to carry it. We will allow you. It's not disallowed, but you don't need to.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Our pillows and blankets will also be on the bedding matters. So. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you so much, parents. You have our numbers. You can always call us, whoever you've been speaking for, if you have any additional questions, and you can answer.